the next NDP MLA for the Comox Valley, Kassandra Dyke, or Dyke, okay, she would like to say a few words.
Well, howdy everyone. It's great to see everybody out here on a Saturday afternoon. I am Kassandra Dyke. Yes, I am your BC NDP candidate here in the Comox Valley, and I'm also a working gal and working today, so I'm going to have to head back up to work very shortly. But I'm glad I was able to come out and join you here today. I work up at 19 Wing Comox here in the Valley, and I work at the Military Family Resource Center, which is actually a little non-profit agency that endeavors to support military families here in the community. And it gives me a unique opportunity to have a bit of a window on the world with regards to public service positions up at the wing. And I'm going to share with you just one example of what I've witnessed. Now, Stephen Harper had made a point that the layoffs that were coming would not affect frontline services for Canadians. I think that's a bit of baloney. That's not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing as I work with families up at the base is quite the opposite. Military families, who I'm very privileged to have the opportunity to work with, they lead a very unique lifestyle. They're moving frequently. There are frequent absences while their military member is serving overseas or away on training. They're often, in the community as single parents for vast periods of time. Because they're moving frequently, it's often difficult for spouses to find employment in their new communities, and so on and so on. There are quite a number of stressors in military families' lives. And from time to time, one of those stressors is financial. And when those financial stressors come up, military members can turn to an organization called CISIP. And CISIP is the financial services for the Canadian Forces. And we have a CISIP office right up at 19 Wing, and military families can access that office anytime that they need assistance with, for example, applying for long-term disability insurance or accessing vocational training, etc., etc. One of the services that they can access is financial planning, financial counseling. In 2011, there were over 10,000 clients accessing financial counseling through CISIP. These are military families. And we all know that when financial strain is present in the household and it isn't resolved, it leads to additional crises for that family. And so by providing support to families who are dealing with financial crisis, it puts them in a better position to be successful long term and is actually preventative so that we don't have the necessity for a whole spectrum of support services later on when the family is in deeper crisis. CISIP has one employee. That employee has been laid off. So that CISIP office no longer will exist at CFB Comox. And when military families are dealing with financial crisis or need any kind of financial services, including proactive financial planning for their future, I'm not sure where they're supposed to go. Nobody has told us what that alternative is going to be. And this is really concerning to me. And it's a pattern that I'm seeing not just in our federal public service. It's a pattern that I'm also noticing here provincially, that I'm noticing here in our community. It's very revealing about what government values are like right now, federally with our Conservative government and provincially with our BC Liberal government. I've heard rumor that a lot of the D&D jobs that are being lost are going to be outsourced to a private company. Now this is something that we have happening right here in our own community. If you travel down to Buckley Bay and talk to the ferry workers there, you're going to hear a similar kind of story. There's a proposal for a cable ferry down there that will see unionized ferry workers laid off and replaced by a private service provider and lower paid jobs with no benefits attached to it. And you know what? Your ferry rates aren't going to go down. They've said that outright. BC Ferries has acknowledged, no, there's no ferry cuts for you. However, there are going to be cuts for the folks that have good paying jobs, good paying family sustaining jobs. And you're one of them?
What about the Marine Corps that came back from the United States and they're not doing anything about it? And we're Canadian citizens.
There are a lot of concerns out there right now. I'd love to have a chat with you later on about this. And it's something that's quite similar, I think, in a lot of communities around North America right now. We're seeing a lot of these kinds of concerns. And our ferry workers down in Buckley Bay know exactly how this feels. And they are going to be in a position where they don't have jobs. Your ferry rates are not going down. And where is that cash going? It's going to be going into the pockets of the folks earning profit providing that service where there used to be good paying family jobs for us here in the Comox Valley. I think that's not okay. And I'm really glad to see so many folks gathered who have the same passion to protect these jobs, the same passion to protect public services for people in BC and across Canada. Those services count. Those services make a difference in people's lives. And together we're going to do our very best to protect those jobs and make sure that those services are there for us far into the future. I thank you so much for your time today.